Swinging a high fly ball. They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Holy cow!
And there he goes! It's time to step across the line with James Collier as he takes you inside the octagon of sports. With the latest from the world of sports, the scores, interviews, and the hardest-hitting analysis in the business. Let's step into the octagon of sports.
Let's go!
With your host, James Collier.
In an unfamiliar territory for me, I should say. I'm actually in studio this morning. It's a bye week for me, and what am I doing? I've got two games. The game last night, game today. So that's how things roll when we're in the crazy part of the season. But this is Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. A beautiful Saturday morning. Pogue Landing Days going on Winchester Avenue. So if you're out and about looking for something to do today or this evening, and more importantly, and every year, if you know anything about me, you know when a Pogue Landing Day comes out, one thing I'm going to talk about, the food, okay? There are food vendors for over a block, and just about any possibility of food that you want is available. There's the lemonade stand straight across from our studio. I've already seen – there's another lemonade stand over there. I've already seen two of the – smoke trailers. So I'm coming down tonight. We are going to come down and try to get, as long as we get any weather. I think they're giving some weather later on today too. But hopefully it stays away. But if you're looking for some good food and it's just an evening out of just enjoying some great entertainment and just in being on the town, this is a great place to come. So, and the most important thing, other than the money that you're going to pay to buy for your food and stuff, it's free charge. Now, you may have to catch an Uber from Westwood to get up here because there's nowhere to park. That's the only down part about when you come to Pogue Landing Days is trying to find some place to park because there's no parking anywhere. You might be better off parking at the park and walking over. But they've got a concert this evening and stuff. They got the big stage going and everything. So if you've never been to Pogue Landing Days, there's plenty of stuff for the kids to do. They've got there's a long stretch of tents with the vendors and everything. There's enough to where you can stay busy for an evening. But just bring some money and a hungry appetite. Any possible food that you probably want, they have. They have deep fried. Yeah, there's one trailer, I'm sure it's here. You can get deep fried butter. It's like, ugh, God, that just sounds awful. But listen, I need to come and eat, though. So I got sick Sunday and into Monday. I lost 16 pounds in a day. It was a nasty stomach bug. Got back to normal, I say normal, Thursday. It was bad. So if you hope nobody out there gets this thing, man, it is brutal. It's probably one of the worst stomach bugs I've ever had. But yeah, it was. I was supposed to have a game Monday night, and it was going to be senior night for Boyd County girls soccer, and I was trying to figure out how in the world I was going to get through this game. There was just no possible way that I knew there was any way I was going to get through this game. And then those storms hit, and we didn't get to play. And I was like, oh, my God, thank goodness. And I just went back to bed. But I was pretty much in bed most of Monday just to try to get through it. But a lot of games last night across the Bluegrass as high school football. We've reached the halfway point of the season. And some teams starting district play last night. So let's run through the scoreboard and get you the games that played yesterday. Ashland opens up district play with a win over Greenup County last night, 35-21. In a battle of two of the worst teams in the state, Bath County outlasts Lewis County 14-7. Covington Holmes got a win last night, so Lewis County now with the longest losing streak in the state. And I think Covington Holmes and Lewis County will play at the end of the year. So, but Bath County picks up the victory last night over Lewis County. Belfry beats Pike County Central 55-14. Campbellsville over Bethlehem 48-6. Fairview beats Phelps 44-6. Nice win for the Eagles as they'll get ready to start district play coming up in a couple of weeks. Covington Holy Cross over Eminence 51-6. Johnson Central, Boyd County, a good ball game here. I don't think anybody, this guy included, I don't believe anybody expected the score that this one was. Johnson Central hangs on and wins 21-14. This was a 14-7 game going to halftime, and Boyd County was right there. And this is a good Johnson Central team. They beat Pulaski County, who was one of the top teams in 5A last week. And, it was like, okay, Johnson Central's back. They are the powerhouse that we knew in the Matney days, and they're back. And that was, Boyd County may have not got a victory last night, but I think they got a lot of people's attention with the performance there. Coach Ferg does a great job with his crew over there in Cannonsburg, but a heck of an effort last night on a losing effort down in Paintsville. Iroquois beats Morgan County 28-12. Knox Central over Hazard 34-31. I'm headed to Hazard next Friday night with Raceland as they'll play on homecoming night with the Bulldogs. Other games last evening in the area. Nicholas County over Carroll County 26-21. Raceland heads there later on in the regular season. Paintsville over West Carter 29-6. It was Pikeville beating Powell County 56-0. Russell over Fleming 49-14. Nice bounce back by the Red Devils after the tough loss they took to the hands of Ashland. And that wraps things up. Biggest game last night in the state, though. Number 1, Trinity. Number 2, St. X. No problem for the Shamrocks. 35-24. They play their game. That game they play at Cardinal Stadium in Louisville. They have to. That's the only place that's big enough to get all their students and stuff into. That they pour out for that game. But Trinity, they're the top team in the state. Nobody even going to come close, I don't think. The only game they've lost this year, they lost to, I think it was Cincinnati Elder. It was either Moeller or Elder. Well, hang on a second. I'll tell you exactly. It was Moeller, 24-21, and Moeller's one of the top teams in Ohio. So a big upset, maybe if you want to look at it like this. There's an asterisk beside this one, but either way, Wheelersburg beat Ironton last night. And now, Ironton was missing 4 players, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to touch that's over on that side. But these two could see each other in the playoffs. And if they do, especially if Ironton is back to full strength, it's going to be a war of attrition. But Ironton really shot itself in the foot last night with penalties. That was one of the things they struggled with. But nice win for the Pirates as they pick up the victory. All right, what do we have to talk about today? I mean, it's not like there's anything going on in sports. Are you kidding me? I've had this weekend circled for almost a month and a half. Because here's what we have. The final 2 days of the regular season of Major League Baseball. We have 2 spots remaining, one in the American League, one in the National League, that are still available for postseason berth. We had one team that posted their berth last night. My Red Sox walked it off in the 9th. Cedon Rafaela hits a walk-off triple in the bottom of the 9th inning to beat the Detroit Tigers, 4-3 in Boston. So we get the walk-off win. The Red Sox are going to the postseason. I don't care who we're playing. We're either going to play probably the Blue Jays or the Yankees in the first round in a 3-game series on the road. We're going to be on the road. I don't think there's any way about that. We're going on the road. But the most important thing is we're clinched. And if we win tonight, it's a 4-on. We are the 5 seed, and we know we're going on the road. So we can park our pitching. We don't have to worry about trying to do anything different. We can park our pitching, set our rotation up for that 3-game wildcard series, and you've got your guys of Giolito, Crochet, and Bayo that you can run out there and you can throw your best 3 arms that you've got on your rotation. I like that. I like the Red Sox chances right now, but a big win last night for them. On the other side of things, in the National League, the Cincinnati Deads, they've got not a pulse. They've got a heartbeat. They are in the driver's seat. A big win last night over Milwaukee with Milwaukee's dude on the bump. They beat him and win that game 3-1. Now, what that did was when the New York Mets lost last night, that puts Cincinnati in the driver's seat. So if the Reds win out or if they lose and the Mets lose, they control the destiny. So 2 Reds wins, they're in, no matter what happens with the Mets because they own the tiebreaker. One Reds win, 2 Mets wins, Mets are in. That's the only way that the Mets can get in. Unless the Reds lose the next 2, the Mets only have to win 1, and then they will be in. We'll break it all down as we go through, but it's going to be a fun. If you are just a casual fan of Major League Baseball and you pick things up in the postseason, this weekend is built for you because you are going to have some crazy good things, and we're going to break it all down here just a little bit of what's going to happen over these next 2 days, and we'll get into it in here in just a bit. Then, if you're not a baseball fan and you're a college football fan, this may be the best weekend of college football for top 25 action, bar none. Some phenomenal games today. I mean, we're talking about top 10 matchups. We've already had 2 top 25 teams go down last night. Virginia beating up on Florida State in double overtime to take down, I think they were up to 6th, the Noles were, and what a win by Virginia. But Penn State, Oregon tonight, are you kidding me? Heck yeah, give me that, a whiteout. That place is going to be phenomenal. Mo Bamba will be rumbling tonight at University Park. Okay, you're not a college football fan, you're an NFL fan. We got some great games on tap. How about Ravens-Chiefs in Arrowhead? Eagles-Bucks in Tampa in a pair of 3-0 teams in the NFC. There's going to be some good ones on tap this weekend. Oh, yeah, and if none of that gets your tune, there is this little golf tournament going on up in New York called the Ryder Cup. Bethpage Black. I don't need anything else. I need about 16 televisions is what I need this weekend to keep up. I've got plug-ins on every device that I own that I'm dragging with me right now so I can follow all this stuff. By the way, right now, the Europeans are making the United States look awful. It's embarrassing how bad the United States have played so far. And we'll break all that down a little bit later on the show. But this is on home soil, and the Europeans lead coming into the day 5.5, 2.5. It's a race to 14. For the United States, they need 14.5. Because, again, if you end up there's 28 total points. If you end up with 14, that's all that Europe needs to retain the cup. United States has to have 14.5 because a tie would go back to the team that had it before. So the United States have some work to do, and the Europeans are making quick work and getting ready to push this thing out to where the afternoon they could put this thing within reach really quickly tomorrow whenever we get into our match play. It's going to be interesting to see. But the United States got to pick some stuff up. Oh, yeah, and the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the week. Stop getting mad. Another food service worker that just doesn't like it when they screw up and they get pointed out with their mistake. My God, we just did a whole segment of the show. We haven't even got to segment 1 yet. All right, let's take a break. We come back. We're going to dive into Major League Baseball. 2 days to go in the regular season. We head to the Octagon to break it all down next on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Borders Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
At Clark's Pump and Shop, we're not just a gas station, we're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams. Fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Hi, I'm Kevin Anderson with First National Bank in Moorhead. From home, auto, and construction financing to refinancing options, we've got the tools to help move you forward. We also offer checking, savings, and full business banking solutions built to support you and your goals. Stop in to see us and let's talk about how we can help you. First National Bank, a tradition of value since 1902. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vansburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Let's get back inside the Octagon of Sports with James Collier and Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLGC.
I got to point out something real quick before we go inside the Octagon. There were two ladies that just come running down Winchester Avenue, and at first I thought they were running like they were out for a jog, and then all of a sudden they stopped. I think they were running to food. That's what it was. They wasn't running for exercise. They were running for food. Listen, there's some food out here that's worth running for. I'm going to go get food before I leave to go to Huntington for Marshall Volleyball today on ESPN. But, yeah, I will eat, and then I will eat again tonight. So there's usually like 2 or 3 stands I like to hit. So I'll probably hit one that I know that I won't hit later tonight for lunch today. But I got to get off food. I'm not going to talk about sports. And this is all I want to talk about today is what we've got going on with sports. But, I mean, my God, baseball, man, this is when it gets fun. Of course, I'm excited. The Red Sox are going back to the postseason for the first time since 2021. And I will say this. When the Red Sox lost Roman Anthony there toward the end, I was really concerned. I don't know that we've got the goods to do it. The fact that Brian Bayo has been non-existent, he's already practicing his Halloween costume of Casper the Ghost, because the guy has been non-existent in the last month. And for those morons out there that claimed this was the second coming of Pedro Martinez, shut your mouth. Close your mouth. Stop putting those words in my mouth, because you have no idea what you're talking about. This guy is nowhere near Pedro. He could not carry Pedro Martinez's jockstrap. Nowhere near it. You want to talk about somebody who's your daddy? Pedro Martinez is your daddy. Okay, you're nowhere near. You don't have the mentality that Pedro Martinez is. Pedro Martinez would throw at his own mom's head if it meant winning a game. Brian Bayo doesn't have that mentality. He will never be Pedro Martinez. And the Red Sox paid him so much money thinking that he was the second coming of Pedro. You don't replace a Pedro with a rookie. Stop it. But we've got to get that guy going. But the Red Sox are in the postseason. I'm freaking fired up, baby. I love it. Postseason baseball is coming. And if you're a Reds fan right now, daggone it, wake up. I've got 3 of my friends that I work with, and I told them we've been in a text message. I've been beating on them all week. Like, come on, the Deads, they're gone. You know, when they lost that game against the Pirates in the first 3-game series, and then they had to go up against Paul Skeens. They had Hunter Green, Paul Skeens, and it was a great duel. And then it went to extra innings. They lose it in the 11th. And it's like, you're going to get swept by the freaking Pirates. Like, how embarrassing is this? Like, the Deads are here. Well, then they salvage out Game 3. And maybe, and I don't want to say maybe. Again, we still got 2 games to go. But Neovi Marte had a season-saving catch in the 9th inning because Pagan gave up a bomb. And Marte dislocates his arm, turns into Stretch Armstrong with a little bit of Inspector Gadget, climbs the wall at Great American, and somehow dislocates his shoulder in the process, looks like, as he reaches in and grabs the ball from the pits of hell and drags it back in and says, "Not today, my friend. Reds win." And the Reds have to build off of that, and that's exactly what they did last night against the Brewers. They had an unwinnable game last night. They had to beat Preister in Milwaukee, who had lost twice this year, with a sub-2 or sub-3 ERA. And they went in there and roughed him up for 3 runs, and the Reds win at 3-1. And what that happens is when you've got the pathetic New York Mets, who right now I don't know could beat a AAA ball club in 7 out of 10 games. The Mets cough it up last night. They lose to the lowly Marlins, who, by the way, the Marlins decided, you know what, we're going to stick it to you, New York. They shifted up their entire pitching rotation this weekend, and they brought all of their dudes back, and they're going to try to stick it up the backside of the Mets. They are looking like they're playing to get into the postseason. So the Marlins beat the Mets last night. The Reds beat the Brewers in Milwaukee. And what that does is it puts the Cincinnati Reds in the driver's seat to make the postseason. Now, all you got to do, Cincinnati, is win. That's it. Now, here's the way it plays out. With 2 games to go, the Reds own the tiebreaker against the Mets. So, essentially, Cincinnati's magic number is 2. A Reds win today, a Mets loss today, Reds are in. It's over. A Reds loss, Mets loss comes down to tomorrow of either the Reds win or the Mets lose. Doesn't matter what happens. If the Mets lose, it doesn't matter. If the Mets lose both games, the Reds are in no matter what they do. But today, the Reds can clinch a postseason berth with a win over Milwaukee and a Mets loss. If both teams win, the Reds can win tomorrow, and it doesn't matter what the Mets do. The only way the Mets can get in is the Mets have to win out, or they have to win 1 and the Reds lose 2. That's the situation where they are. So we're going to preview the matchups for today. I'm not going to go through all the scores from last night because they're irrelevant. The ones we're looking at is that race in the National League, and then there's one spot still there in the American League. And the teams we're going to talk about, we should not be talking about one of these teams because on September the 4th, the Detroit Tigers had an 11.5-game lead over the Cleveland Guardians. You know where the Detroit Tigers are right now? They're clinging to 6th place, trying to hold off the Houston Astros, who gave one away last night to the Angels out in Anaheim. Cleveland at one point was 15.5 games out of first place this year. I wrote them off. They were remember I had 7 teams in the American League. They were not in my 7. I had the Rangers that was in that mix. Now the Guardians, I was like, okay, maybe they're there, but I was really worried about the Rangers when they lost Evaldi. And I didn't know that the Guardians would have enough to make the push. But listen, there was somebody on social media, and I don't know who this person was, but they deserve an Emmy, a Grammy, any other award as you. They took the scenes from Major League, the baseball movie, when they take the owner, Rachel Phelps, and they put her in the dress, and they said, for every win we get, we pill a section, okay? And they take the clippings of that part of the movie, and then you remember in the movie how the Indians would win, and they'd put up a new. Well, they took the recent stuff of the Guardians, and they would put them in those spots. And then they would put in different parts of the movie and stuff where she's getting upset and they're peeling the sections. And at the very end, they've got Lou Brown. It says, we're contenders now. And I was like, this is epic. This is what gets me animated for postseason baseball. Some people don't like baseball. I'm sorry. If you don't like baseball, get out of my life, okay? You are not welcome inside the octagon. That's okay. You do you. You can go talk to anybody else. Just don't talk to me right now in October. We can be friends again in November, but we are not friends in October. If you can't feel the passion this morning, I am amped up inside the octagon because it is postseason baseball. 160 of 162 games are in the books. We are so stinking close, and it's right there for the taking. Now, if the Red Sox hadn't a clinch last night, do you think I would have been this animated? Probably not. I might have been even worse. I might have been ticked off. I've been ready to fight somebody this morning. But I got postseason baseball. I've got top 25 football, NFL football tomorrow, Ryder Cup this weekend, food in front of me. What more can I ask for in a weekend? It's going to be epic. But golly, man, I cannot wait for these next 2 games. But Reds fans, you got to get up for this. This is what you need for your program. This is something that animates not only that youthful locker room that you've got, but that city as a whole. That maybe, just maybe, your organization might see the glimmer of hope that's there and do a little bit to get you guys to that next step, to where you're not having to claw, fight, and beg, borrow, and steal to try to get yourself in that conversation. But maybe for the first time this season, I will refer to you properly as the Cincinnati Reds. Go do Pete Rose proud and finish this thing off and get yourself in the postseason. That would be huge on the year that we lose Pete Rose, that we get the Reds into the postseason. That would be epic. Okay, let's look at the standings. Golly, the time is getting away. I need 2 hours today, for God's sakes. Blue Jays, they've clinched a postseason berth, but they have not clinched the American League East. The Yankees are right there. They are both at 92 and 68, but Toronto has the tiebreaker for the moment. So if they would end up at the even spot, the Yankees would be in the wild card. The Blue Jays are your top team in the American League at 92-68, but they've lost 6 of their last 10. They have won 2 straight, though. They got a win last night over Tampa. They won Game 3 out of that 3-game series against the Red Sox. The Seattle Mariners, remember that team? The team I told you better watch out for these guys because they've got the pitching, they've got the ability to knock the ball all over the park, and they've got a bunch of no-name people that people don't know who they are, and they are going to surprise people. Well, guess what? They clinched the American League West earlier this week. They've got the second-best record in the American League, only 2 games behind Toronto. If Toronto loses their final 2 and Seattle wins out, Seattle could be your 1. This is a team that was outside the final 6, played themselves into the wild card, and then raced past the Houston Astros. The Cleveland Guardians are the Central leading team right now. 86 and 74. They are tied with the Tigers, but they have the heads-up tiebreaker. But they've lost 2 consecutive. They had won 15 out of 16, okay? They're playing Texas, so they've got to find a way to either get a couple of wins or they need some help from the Red Sox. Now, here's where Cleveland sits. Cleveland's magic number is 2. Now, when you say magic numbers, what am I talking about? So essentially what that means is any win for you and a loss for the other team counts toward that number. That's a positive number. So if Cleveland wins today and Boston beats Detroit, that's your 2. So that would put Cleveland 1 game ahead of Detroit with 1 game to play tomorrow. So even if Cleveland lost tomorrow and Detroit won, Cleveland still owns the tiebreaker. They're the American League Central champions. So that's how that magic number works, okay? So you can get 2 numbers from 1 victory, essentially. Now, your wild card. The New York Yankees have won 9 of 10, 6 in a row. They have currently, let me verify this before I say it out loud because I freaking hate the Yankees, 6-game winning streak, the longest winning streak in baseball right now. But they have come on in September. They've looked really good. They are tied with Toronto, but Toronto owns the tiebreaker. The Red Sox are 2 games ahead of Detroit. So, again, a Red Sox win today would lock in the Red Sox as the 5. That's as high as they can get. They cannot chase down the Yankees. They're 4 games behind the Yankees. So, even if they – well, no, I take that back. Yes, they can. If the Yankees would lose their 2 games that they finish out against Baltimore and the Red Sox would sweep the Tigers, the Red Sox own the tiebreaker against the Yankees, so then that would flip that series back into Boston instead of New York. So, yeah, that can happen. Yeah, it's crazy to think. Now, the Houston Astros, they're 1 game behind Detroit for that 6th and final wild card spot. They are playing the Angels. So if Detroit wins and Houston loses, the American League is finished. The only thing you can do is change the positionings of who could be in what spot. And then we will play the best of 3 wild card series that will start next week with the higher seed playing host to the lower seed. So right now Cleveland would entertain Detroit, and the Yankees would entertain Boston. Now, in the American League, your divisions are set. The Brewers won the Central, the Phillies win the East, and the Dodgers win the West. The Brewers have not clinched home field, though. And what looked like they were going to be home field easily in the National League, they only have a one-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies right now. And they've kind of cooled off, winning 5 out of their last 5, or losing 5 out of the last 5, depending on how you like your cup, full or empty. The Dodgers are not going to be able to get there, so they're going to stay as the 3. They can't catch either one of those. So the Dodgers the 3 no matter what happens. Now, the Cubs are the 4. They're 2 games ahead of the Padres. Cubs play St. Louis. The Padres are playing Arizona. The Reds and the Mets are tied at 82 and 78. But again, I've already given you all of the scenarios for the Cincinnati Reds. Just win. That's all you got to do is win. A Reds win, Mets loss, it's over. The only thing the Reds cannot do, they cannot lose the next 2 and have to leave it in the hands of the New York Mets to decide it, because that was what would happen. If the Reds lose the next 2 days, they have to have the New York Mets also lose those 2 games, or the Mets would get in. That's how it breaks down. Okay, for today's matchups, you're going to get Clay Holmes for the Mets, who is 11-8 with a 3.66 ERA, and Yuri Perez for the Marlins, who's 7-5. That's the game that the Reds fans are obviously keeping a very close eye on. The Reds are going to send Andrew Abbott, who has been their dude, but can't ever get him any run support. He's 9-7 with a sub-3 ERA. He's going to go up against Colbert Glasser, who will make he's 0-1 with a 6 ERA for the Brewers. So the Brewers are obviously they're trying to set their rotation up for the postseason, obviously. So we'll see what happens here. But this is a big opportunity tonight for Cincinnati. A Cincinnati win, a Mets loss, and the Reds are going postseason dancing. Now, here's the good thing for Cincinnati. The Mets play at 4:10 today. That game will be finished by the time the Reds-Brewers throw first pitch. So the Reds will know exactly where they stand going into this game this evening with the Brewers, of whether they win and they're in, or they win or they lose and they've got to play themselves in tomorrow. That's where we go. Now, tomorrow, here's the pitching matchups for that scenario. So for the Mets, they have not determined who they will throw tomorrow. For the Miami Marlins, Edward Cabrera, who's at 7-7, a 3.66 ERA on the season, he'll get the ball at 3:10. The Reds and Brewers will also go at 3:10. It's Brady Singer for the Reds, who's at 14-11 with a 3.95 ERA, and Freddie Peralta, who is one of the dudes in the National League, 17-6 with a 2.68 ERA. You don't want to have to go at Freddie Peralta trying to win a game to get yourself to the postseason. The Reds got to do it today. We'll see how things play out. It's going to be a fun matchup. Now, on that other matchup for the Tigers, you've got Keider Montero going up against Kennelly Ernie. Ernie for the Red Sox. He's 1-1. He's got a 1.88 ERA. This kid didn't look good in his last outing. I was really rough on him. But the Red Sox can basically make things tough on the Tigers while going ahead and taking care of their stuff. I would love, listen, I am no bigger fan of the Baltimore Orioles ever than I have been in my life today. The Red Sox could get a sweep of the Tigers, and the Orioles come behind and get me 2 games this weekend. Boston will bring the Yankees to town for a 3-game series. Oh, my God, I love baseball. This is going to be a fun run. We get the wild card games start on Tuesday because they always have to leave that Monday open in case you run into a play-in game. So game 163. I don't think we're going to see that this year. But we'll play 4 games on Tuesday. The American League East runner-up, and then Boston and the wild card 2, so whoever it's going to be. We'll play that first game, but 4 games on Tuesday to get things going for the postseason. All right. Whew. Man, I love this stuff. All right, let's step out for a break. top 25 football. We got some great games going on this weekend. We'll break it down, and then we've got to get to the Ryder Cup, too. I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. That's when we return here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Borders Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
At Clark's Pump and Shop, we're not just a gas station. We're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams. Fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Hi, I'm Kevin Anderson with First National Bank in Moorhead. From home, auto, and construction financing to refinancing options, we've got the tools to help move you forward. We also offer checking, savings, and full business banking solutions built to support you and your goals. Stop in to see us and let's talk about how we can help you. First National Bank, a tradition of value since 1902. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Hank FM weather.
Your Tri-State weather forecast is brought to you by Perry Distributing in Ironton and Ashland, proud distributors of Budweiser and Bud Light.
This morning, we'll see mostly sunny skies with temperatures warming up to 81 by the afternoon. Moving into the evening, it'll be partly cloudy and calm with lows near 57. And looking ahead to Sunday, they're calling for plenty of sunshine throughout the day with afternoon highs reaching 82.
This is Across the Line with James Collier on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLGC.
Top 25 football action this weekend is going to be phenomenal. Already 2 games in the book. An upset last night at Virginia. It was unranked Virginia unseating the 8th-ranked Florida State Seminoles 46-38 in double overtime. It was 21-all at halftime, both teams scoring 7 points each in the third and the fourth, and then Virginia Tech gets the win in double overtime, 46-38. TCU, 24th ranked in the nation. They fall to Arizona State, 27-24. All right, top 25 games today. These are the noon slates. Number 16, Georgia Tech at Wake Forest. 21-ranked USC at 23rd-ranked Illinois. Illinois got train wrecked last week. They were 9th in the nation, and Indiana blew them out, 63-14, and somehow Illinois is still ranked. Now, again, okay, you say you got ranked opponent. Listen, they're getting the same treatment Notre Dame gets. Notre Dame goes 0-2, and they're still ranked in the top 25. They got a lowly win last week. They stay in the top 25. Again, they will find a way to keep Notre Dame in that playoff contention conversation. But they go to Fayetteville today against Arkansas at noon. You can watch that game on ABC. 12:45 today, Utah State's at 18th-ranked Vanderbilt, who are undefeated on the season down in Nashville. A big one today out in Washington. Top-ranked Ohio State visits the Huskies. Ohio State, an 8.5-point favorite. And I've had several Ohio State fans tell me this. Take Washington to cover because Ohio State always struggles to cover against Washington. 8.5, that's a big line. This game started off at 10.5. I saw it move to as low as 7.5. It's pushed back out to 8.5. I think I'll take those 8.5 points and take Washington in this one. I think it's going to be that's a long way for Ohio State to have to go across the country to get to this one. A big one this afternoon at 3:30 down in Oxford. Number 4 LSU, number 13 Ole Miss. Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin, two guys that you probably would not want to take home to meet your mother. Let's just be honest about it. Ole Miss, a 2.5-point favorite in this one. I took LSU, the 4th-ranked Tigers, to win this one. Auburn goes to College Station against 9th-ranked Texas A&M. Number 11, Indiana, is in Iowa at 3:30. At 4:15 today, Tennessee, number 15 in the nation, goes to Starkville and Mississippi State. Late games tonight, number 7, or at 7 o'clock, Arizona's at number 14, Iowa State. Biggest game of the weekend. Number 6, Oregon at number 3, Penn State tonight at 7:30. You can watch that game on NBC and Peacock. I will definitely have that one tuned in. I don't care if I'm down here walking around the Polk Landing days. I'll have an AirPod in with my phone. It'll probably be on a charging block because my phone's going to be dead by the time I get to through Ryder Cup today. UMass is at number 20 ranked Missouri tonight at 7:30. And 10:15 tonight, 25th ranked BYU is at Colorado. All right, let's take a break. We come back. We're going to Ryder Cup talk. The United States sucking it up at Bethpage Black as the Europeans are basically beating up on the Americans. We'll take a look at it when we return after this here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Borders Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
At Clark's Pump and Shop, we're not just a gas station, we're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams. Fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Hi, I'm Kevin Anderson with First National Bank in Moorhead. From home, auto, and construction financing to refinancing options, we've got the tools to help move you forward. We also offer checking, savings, and full business banking solutions built to support you and your goals. Stop in to see us and let's talk about how we can help you. First National Bank, a tradition of value since 1902. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
This is Across the Line with James Collier on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLGC.
Back inside the Octagon here on Across the Line, Bethpage Black, the Black Course up in Long Island, New York. By the way, if you want to go play this course, you can play it. It's $70 to play it through the week. It's open to the public. $160 on the weekends, though. So if you're going to go make the trip to go play Bethpage Black, you better make a weekend trip. Maybe that's the second option. But the course is beautiful. Obviously, it's been drenched in rain. That was the play that they played with yesterday. The greens were so soft. I mean, they were just plugging the greens. You would hit a drive, and it would plug. There was mud balls. They're playing, preferred lie, so you're able to lift your ball from the fairway and clean it and everything like that. But right now, the United States just won their first match of the morning in the Sunday morning foursomes. Bryson DeChambeau and Cam Young defeat Matty Fitzpatrick and Ludwig Ahlberg 4-2. So Europe leads the match right now 5.5 to 3.5. But of the three matches that are on the course right now, Europe is up in all of these. Currently 2 up through 15. Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood leading Harris English and Colin Morikawa. 2 up through 13, Tyrell Hatton and John Rahm, leading Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele. John Rahm is basically just eating the United States for breakfast. In his last 9 events in the Ryder Cup, he's 7-2. Those two ties, by the way, no losses, 7-0-2, I should say. He hit a chip in this morning on 8. He was standing in the bunker with the ball about almost waist level. And it was like, just try to get this thing on the green. No, he didn't put it on the green. He put it in the freaking hole. And what looked like the United States was about to go 1 up in that match, they ended up going 1 down. And now it's 2 up for Hatton and Rahm. 1 up for Robert McIntyre and Victor Hovland over Russell Henley and Scotty Scheffler through 12. Scotty Scheffler has not looked like the best golfer in the United States, Lord alone, the best golfer in the world. He has not had a good Ryder Cup. His putting has not been pure. His ball striking has not been pure. It kind of looks like the same Scotty Scheffler that we saw coming down the stretch of the FedEx Cup playoffs. That was not Scotty Scheffler that just, I'm here, I'm going to beat you, and there's nothing you can do about it. This looks like Scotty Scheffler that maybe has a chink in the armor. And this was the worst time in the world for the best player in the world who plays for the United States to have this happen. Dwayne's over here kicking the bucket. But right now, but going into this afternoon's matchups, if things play out, Europe is going to have a commanding 8.5 to 3.5 lead over the United States. That would leave them between this afternoon and tomorrow's match play needing only 3.5 points to 5.5 points to retain the cup. Again, there's 28 total points through the 3-day event. Europe is the defending champions, so they need only 14 points that force a tie that would then send the cup back across the pond, and they would maintain the Ryder Cup. Now, looking at yesterday's matchups, yesterday morning in the Friday morning foursomes, Hatton and Rahm just absolutely dissected Justin Thomas and Bryson DeChambeau. Justin Thomas looked like he had never been introduced to a putter yesterday morning. I love JT, and I'm telling you right now, that was not the combination to have on the course for the first match of the day. United States loses this one 4-3. Now, what does 4-3 mean? That means you're up 4 strokes or 4 holes with 3 holes to play, so there's no way you can come back. So as soon as you have a bigger lead than are holes remaining, the match is done. That's how match play works like this. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, Matty Fitzpatrick and Ludwig Ahlberg takes Russell Henley and Scotty Scheffler to school, 5-3. Then Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood beat up on Harris English and Colin Morikawa, 5-4. That is just dominance right there. 3 straight points. And then Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele finally still a point away for the United States, beating Robert McIntyre and Victor Hovland 2 up. They played that one all the way through. We went to Friday afternoon 4 balls. Sepp Straka and John Rahm beat Scotty Scheffler and J.J. Spaun. Scotty Scheffler has not won a single point for the United States yet. And you can't have the best player in the world not getting anything. But they lose 3-2. Justin Rose, Tommy Fleetwood beat Bryson DeChambeau and Ben Griffin 1 up. Rasmus Højgaard and Ludwig Ahlberg lose to JT and Cam Young 6-5. That was the Europeans did not win a single hole in that match. They played 13 holes, and that one was done. And then a match that was halved, our only halved match we've had so far, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry halved with Patrick Cantlay and Sam Burns. Now, the biggest problem I've got with everything that's going on with the freaking Ryder Cup is the people that's on the United States team. And the problem of it is it's not so much as who we ended up with as our Ryder Cup captain's picks. It's the people that were automatic qualifiers. Like J.J. Spaun. He's a one-hit wonder. He won the U.S. Open. And again, if we were playing U.S. Open conditions, J.J. Spaun would have probably been the guy. He played really well in the Players' Championship. Lost there in the playoff. But it was almost U.S. Open conditions. The wind was crazy. But J.J. Spawn is not a guy that I would say, if I had my pick of the litter in the United States players to take and put on my team, that's who I'm going to take. The biggest thing that the United States has right now is they've got probably one of the best dudes in the world as their captain in Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley should have put himself on the team. As a captain, you have the ability to play. And he did not do so. And coming down the final month and a half of the season, I thought Keegan Bradley was playing some of the best golf of anybody out there. And Keegan Bradley needed to put himself on the team for the United States to have its best option. Cam Young is not one of those dudes. Ben Griffin is not one of those dudes. There were many opportunities that could have gotten there. And it's I don't know. It's just there needed to be some different stuff there. So Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, Ben Griffin, Colin Morikawa, Justin Thomas, Cam Young. Those were your captain's picks. And I could think of 3 guys off of that list right now that I think that Keegan Bradley would have been a better fit for than what we got. Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, and Ben Griffin immediately. I take Colin Morikawa probably in that next rotation. I leave JT there because JT has the swagger. And he bounced back nicely yesterday in his second match. But the United States has got to get things going. Because if they go just absolutely bland again this afternoon, because of where we stand in this thing right now, if things hold up with the way it's looking, you're going to add 3 more points to the European match. They're going to go to 8.5. If you let Europe get to 10 points going to tomorrow morning, I don't care what happens tomorrow. It's over. It would be a monumental comeback of the ages for the United States to come back and win this thing. And if you get dominated on your home course, on your home soil, you better start soul searching if you're going to continue to be a part of the Ryder Cup because you're getting owned by the Europeans. God, I just did a rant. Speaking of rant, it's coming up, but I'm on a rant. I'm fired up, baby. The Octagon is steaming this morning. I told you it was going to be a good show. All right, let's take a break. We come back. It is the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. You're wrong. Own it. That's when we return after this here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network.
Temperatures are on the rise, and so is the bite, and Borders Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
At Clark's Pump & Shop, we're not just a gas station, we're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams. Fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump & Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump & Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump & Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Hi, I'm Kevin Anderson with First National Bank in Moorhead. From home, auto, and construction financing to refinancing options, we've got the tools to help move you forward. We also offer checking, savings, and full business banking solutions built to support you and your goals. Stop in to see us and let's talk about how we can help you. First National Bank, a tradition of value since 1902. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Fox News, I'm Paul Stevens.
Stevens, Attorney General Pam Bondi increasing protection for ICE agents.
After a shooting this week at an ICE facility in Dallas, clashes during protests at a facility outside of Chicago, and other attacks, the Attorney General says DOJ agents will be dispatched to protect ICE agents.
Fox's Jill Nato. Hurricane Humberto has reached Category 4 status, but it's not expected to hit the U.S. mainland.
Then turn northwestward and northward between the United States and Bermuda, and eventually go northeastward out to sea into the North Atlantic.
National Hurricane Center senior hurricane specialist Jack Bevan, but swells generated by Humberto will start developing this weekend, affecting parts of the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. America's listening to Fox News.
Sports scores, interviews, and more. This is Across the Line with James Collier on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLDC.
Breaking news out of the Ryder Cup. Europe has taken another victory, as just winning was Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood defeating Harris English and Colin Morikawa 3-2. So Europe now leads at 6.5 to 3.5. Two matches still playing. Hatton and Rahm leading Cantley and Scheffler 2 up through 14. Russell Henley and Scotty Scheffler just got a hole back on the 13th, and the match with Robert McIntyre and Victor Hovland is all square with 5 to play. The United States have got to get a full point out of that one to try to offset this matchup where they're down 2 with Cantley and Scheffler against Hatton and Rahm. Rahm is phenomenal. He's just been outstanding. And I do not like Jon Rahm, but he is a phenomenal golfer, especially at any level. Time for the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Borders Sporting Goods US 60 in Canonsburg. For all your hunting and fishing needs, as well as those Liberty gun safes, go see Brad and the gang. They'll get you all squared away. You're wrong. It's okay. So I ordered an item for my wife for dinner earlier this week, and she has a very specific way that she wants this item. There's something that goes into this that she does not want mixed into it. She just simply wants it on top of it. And it's the way that she has to eat her stuff. So I ordered it, plainly told them, put it on top, do not mix it in. Well, they mixed the item up, they bring it to me, and I said, excuse me, I said, this was supposed to be on top, not in it. So the lady takes it back over to the person that made it, and you would have thought I kicked this lady's dog, called her mom an ugly name, and spit on her house. She just goes to this Karen frigid bee face. She rips it out of her hand, goes over, starts remaking the item, slamming things, throwing things, gets everything done, comes back over and gets the item that goes on top of this and just squirts it everywhere. Drips it down the side of the cup, goes over, crams the lid down on top of it, wipes it off, walks over, shoves it toward me, and I go, thank you. She spins around, walks away, goes into the back of the restaurant to go do God knows what, probably go hit her vape. But here's the thing. What is it that I did so freaking wrong that ticked you off so bad that you were ready to fight somebody as if somebody called your firstborn kid ugly? I don't get it. Why are we so stinking sensitive in society that when we screw something up, we make a clear mistake? And it's a simple mistake. It wasn't like you had to go rebuild the temples of Rome. You had to make a new drink, for God's sakes. 60 seconds out of your life was wasted. I'm sorry. It took you 60 stinking seconds to redo this. And you act like that it is the worst thing in the world. And I robbed your house or something. And it goes back, when I left there, the things that was going through my head was like, this is what happens. Because this went right back on my rant from last week, where we were talking about the whole stuff about California basically making it 20% makes you pass. Society doesn't know how to deal with failures. because we don't let people fail. That's the problem. You can't deal with failure because you don't know how to deal with failure because you're never allowed to fail. And that's one of the things I will say. As a kid, I was allowed to fail, but I was taught from my failures. I let my children fail, and I help them learn from their failures. I fail in my life every single day, but it's learning from those failures that make me the person that I've become. But we continue to be so stinking soft-serve in the middle of July in the desert, soft in society, that when we have something that goes wrong and somebody calls us out on it, we just get angry. We want to fight people. We want to yell at people. We want to cuss people. Stop it! It was a freaking drink, for God's sakes. It's the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. You know what I'll be doing this weekend. Golf, baseball, Ryder Cup, football. It's all there. Have a great weekend, everyone. This has been Across the Line. Octagon is closed. Talk to you next week right here on the Total Media Sports Network.
You've been listening to Across the Line with James Collier on 105.7 WLGC FM and the Total Media Sports Network. Tune in each Saturday morning beginning at 10 for the latest news and analysis from inside the Octagon of Sports on 105.7 WLGC FM, Greenup, Ashland, and the Total Media Sports Network.